Hi guys, it's great to be back with you this week. I hope you're really excited. I hope you heard that we're starting a new series and it's based around pets. And I thought you would all love it because we all love our pets, don't we? Now some of these pets that we're going to learn about are weird and wonderful. Some are our normal cute cuddly pets. But the best thing is that we can learn from our pets. We can learn different things that God wants to bring out in us through our pets. So today is a weird one. Can you believe some people have ants as pets?
Cool.
Very strange. Now I wonder if you can guess what we might learn from these two things I'm holding in my hand. Right, well, I'm sure you have all heard of a couch potato. Couch potatoes are people that sit around on their couches all day long and they snack and they put on the remote control and they look at their phone at some TikToks, maybe they pick up a book, but they never get up and do anything. Now God says that's not what He wants us to be like. I wonder what He likened us to be. It's ants. Now some of you might remember the rock camp that we had out at Ballyvaughan quite a few years ago. We learned some amazing facts about ants. They build intricate ventilation systems in their ant hills that make the air flow right and do whatever it's supposed to do. They can carry 50 times their body weight. That would be like me carrying 50 of me. Can you believe it? That's unbelievable. They work together with each other and they build bridges of themselves so that they can get to or carry food where it needs to go. And one of the most amazing things is they don't have to be woken up and told what to do. They just get up and they do what they need to do. Well, Solomon, I hope you can remember Solomon. He is called the wisest man who ever lived. He had something to say about ants. Let's look at it. It's in the book of Proverbs chapter 6, and he said, "Go to the ant." That means let's look at the ant. "You sluggard." Now sluggard is another word for you lazy bones. "Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. How long will you lie there, you sluggard, you lazy bones? When will you get up from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come to you like a bandit, and scarcity like an armed man." Wow, that's quite clear, isn't it? Work is important. But it's a funny thing. If we don't work, we don't have buildings to live in and worship in. We don't have food to eat or clothes to wear. We don't have things that we can do. But people seem to moan quite a lot about work. I've heard children moaning about homework or their teachers. I've heard grown-ups, and maybe I'm one, moaning about my work or our bosses or our pay. It's like people want to sit around and do nothing. But that's not what God asks. God says it's good to work. God has given us gifts and talents and resources, and He wants us to use them. There's quite a few reasons why God wants us to work. First of all, when we work, it keeps us active. One of the biggest problems with our modern life is that we can sit on the couch and we've got all these things at our fingertips. We can have our laptop on our lap, we can have our phone in our hand, and we don't have to get up and do anything. But being active is much better for us. It's much healthier for us. We need to get out and do things. There's nothing wrong with watching TV shows and enjoying something on the television. But if we're busy doing that when Mom asks us to do a chore, then actually we're not only disrespecting her, but we're also not getting up and being active. And that's a really good thing to do. It's going to keep us healthy. The second thing, and the second reason that God wants us to work, is because work helps provide for us and for our family. Everything that we have, from our food to our clothes to what we get to school in, our school fees even, comes because we earn money. And we earn that by doing the work that we do. And you know, if you do a 3-hour chore for your mom, say, out in the garden, digging in the veggie patch, or cleaning the house, or picking up litter, or whatever it is, once you've done that, that money that you've earned now has a value. You suddenly realize that was hard work. That wasn't something I just did for a few seconds. So when you go to buy something at the shops, you're going to use that money wisely. You're not going to spend it on a quick takeaway or some sweets because you know that took a lot of effort. So that's another reason why it's good to work. It helps us to provide for ourselves and for our family, and it teaches us the value of money. And lastly, and just as importantly, earning money enables us to help other people. Now, there are lots of people in the world who want to work, but they can't. Maybe they're old and frail, or maybe they're sick, or they've got a handicap or something and they can't work. Maybe there's children who have lost their parents and they need someone to look after them. And that's what God asks us to do. He doesn't want us just to work and do things that are for ourselves. He wants us to look out for others. He wants us to use the gifts and the talents that He's given us so that we can then also help other people. So that's the lesson in the Old Testament about work. Let's look at the ant. They don't complain. They go about their work, hard work, heavy work, getting up and doing it without any problems. They feed their whole colony. They don't just take their food and it's for them. They work together and they help everyone in the anthill, that whole colony. There's also a lesson in the New Testament, and I think you would probably remember the parable that Jesus told about the master who went away and he gave various servants certain amounts of money. They were called talents. And he was so pleased with the servant who came to him when he came back and said, "You gave me this much money and I used it and I've made so much more money. Here it is back to you." The master was so pleased, but he was not very pleased. In fact, he was really quite cross with the servant who was a lazybones, who couldn't be bothered to do anything. He dug a hole and he buried the money in a hole. And when the master came back, he said, "Here's the money you gave me. I didn't do anything with it." The parable tells us that God was not happy about that, because when He gives us gifts and talents and resources, He expects us to use them and to do things well. So when you're given homework to do, children, I encourage you, do it well. Do it to the best of your ability. When you're given chores to do them with a happy heart. Do them willingly and do them to the best of your ability, because that is what God asks of us. So our challenge this week is to look at the ant. And maybe you want to build yourself, I've got a picture here of an ant farm. That's how people keep them as pets. They have them in a little ant farm, and you can observe them and see how busy they are and how amazing they are. Just as a reminder that this is what God asks of us, to be faithful with the work that He gives us, and to not just spend the money on ourselves, but to use what He gives us, because everything comes from God, doesn't it, to help those who are in need. All right, we're going to finish with a little video about a fable on ants. I hope you enjoy it. Bye, ants.
One warm spring day, a grasshopper was playing in a grassy green field when he noticed a line of ants marching along carrying some seeds. "Where are you going with that big load?" the grasshopper asked one of them. "We're taking these seeds to our nest," squeaked the ant. "But it's such a beautiful day," said the grasshopper. "Come and have fun with me." "No," said the ant. "I think you should come work with us. It's going to be a long winter with lots of snow. You had better start storing your food now." "Why worry about the winter? It's only spring, and there is lots of food everywhere," said the grasshopper as he chewed on a large blade of grass. All through the spring, the grasshopper did nothing except eat and sleep and play. He became quite fat. One day, during the summer, the grasshopper saw the long line of ants again. They were all carrying grains of wheat. "Where are you going with all that wheat?" the grasshopper asked. "We are taking it to our nest to save for winter," said one of the ants. "You should gather some wheat too. It's going to be a long winter with lots of snow." "I have all the food that I need right now," said the grasshopper. "Why worry about winter? It's still summer." All summer, the grasshopper did nothing but eat, sleep, and play. He became even fatter. One day, the grasshopper noticed that leaves were falling from the trees. Autumn had come. Among the leaves, he again saw the long line of ants, all carrying kernels of corn. "Where are you going with that corn?" the grasshopper asked one of the ants. The ant replied, "We are taking it to our nest to save for winter. You should gather some corn too. It's going to be a long winter with lots of snow." "That's too much work," said the grasshopper. "Winter is not here yet, and when it comes, I am sure I will be able to find some food." A few weeks later, winter came, and the snow began to fall. Just as the ants had predicted, the snow was very deep. This was not a problem for the ants, though. They were all snug in their nest with lots of good food to eat. The grasshopper, however, had trouble finding food. He was very hungry and very miserable all winter. By the time winter had ended, the grasshopper had learned a valuable lesson. It is important to prepare for the future. Moral of the story: work today for what you will need tomorrow. The